Hi, my name's Jennifer Robson, and I'm just doing a follow-up to the YouTube video that I posted last Sunday about the unfortunate incident that occurred at the Pie Bar with my sister and myself. We had intended to dine there, and unfortunately, we were not acknowledged by staff. And I still believe it was racial. However, I received the opportunity to speak to the president of the company. He saw my post on YouTube, thanks to my friend Anne, who copied and pasted the link to the Pie Bar's Facebook page. Sorry, I'm still feeling kind of emotional about the whole thing, but the long and the short of it is I still believe that it was racial. I believe that my sister and I were not served in that restaurant because of the color of our skin, and I also believe the family that walked out was denied the attention and service because they're Black. And I still can't get it out of my head that none of the servers tried to save any of that business and that they just let us walk away. However, today at 12:30, I spoke to the president of the Pie Bar, and this president and his family own 10 restaurants I believe they're all in the Toronto, GTA. So, in a nutshell, some of the things we discussed had to do with why the things occurred the way they did that day. And the long and the short of it is, we had to come to an understanding. The conversation started off with the president believing that it was just due to neglect and that it was a sunny day and that it was the first sunny day of spring and the servers were not really prepared for the rush. I made the president understand, and I hope I did, that I didn't believe that was the reason for the neglect and the lack of attention, because I reiterated that my sister and I stood right in the middle of the restaurant with all of the servers passing us. Even though they looked at us, they did not serve us until I ran up to one of them to ask for service. So I kind of made it clear to him that despite the fact that we were having the conversation, there needs to be an understanding of the fact that sometimes people walk into establishments, and I said it fairly bluntly to him that a white person can walk into any kind of establishment because their whiteness gives them a shield. It gives them a form of protection, and they're usually treated quite well. But somebody who's a visible minority or of another ethnic group does not have a shield, and they're judged. They're judged based on their appearance. Everything forms a judgment, and they have a higher chance of being treated badly, rejected, turned away. And I said, this is something that you need to realize exists. And I really did believe that the president was listening to me, and he said that the staff is being retrained, that, I'm just going to look at my notes for a minute. He was saying that the managers, that this has been a discussion that they've been having every day, that this situation is being used as a learning tool for everyone. He did apologize, and that the level of poor service made me feel the way I did. And, he agreed, like, they should have stopped to take care of my sister and I. They should have stopped to take care of that family. He did agree that he just basically said that I didn't deserve to feel that way. And I said, it's hard sometimes just to go out. There's places that I go to and I see that I want to enter into, but I'm afraid to because I'm concerned about how I will be treated and how I will be perceived. Um, he said, they're a family-run business. He's been in the industry for 20 years, like running the business, because they have 10 other restaurants in the city. They're not all the Pie Bar. They have different names. And he had never heard of any, well, that level of disgusting customer service. Like, he had never heard a story quite like it. And it really bothered him, as it did me. So, I mean, he kind of overall said that they ethically failed me. I mean, interpret that how you want. There was definitely a failure there. And however, the conversation wasn't a loss because I was encouraged to know that they're all talking about it, like the staff, the managers, retraining is going on. It sounds like across the board in all the restaurants. They're taking a look at, they're offering diversity training. I guess they're going to expand on it. I did confront, oh, sorry, before I get into my other thought, he said to me that they're working on, code of conduct, harassment, all of that kinds of stuff. And then there was something else he mentioned, and now it slipped my mind. Sorry, it'll come to me. But I felt encouraged that they're taking this seriously. I didn't feel that he was rude or anything. He wasn't cutting me off. He was really listening. I mean, 30 minutes is a good amount of time to discuss something, especially with a president. And so I do appreciate the fact. I mean, I will say his name. His name is Sean Bayley, the president, and the name of the corporation that owns the Pie Bar is called Fab Restaurants. I think they need to live up to the name, right? If you've got the short form Fab for fabulous, try to live up to that. Anyway, in conclusion with it, he offered to treat my sister and I to any of his restaurants, to choose one of the restaurants that we'd like to dine in, obviously not the Pie Bar at this point. And like he said, he would email me the list, and he said it's on him, right? Well, should be. And yeah, so when I'm ready and I discuss it with my sister, we will choose one of the restaurants. I just kind of hope that this, doesn't happen to anybody else. I didn't really do it to be vindictive. I went online to make people aware that this is happening, and I know that people that live in Toronto have heard about incidents of this sort, but I felt it was important, and I really appreciate my friends that have stood behind me. And even if you haven't said anything, that's all right too. But I feel really supported, and I'm touched by the encouragement. But I think it's important to forgive people. I'm not naive about it. I understand that this is just one incident and it's not going to change the world. However, I feel like it's having an effect on the president and his business, and I know he's bothered by it because he expressed that on the phone. And I am too. Even though my sister and I will have a free meal, what I really want is I want the staff of the Pie Bar, and I hope that this isn't happening in any of the other restaurants. Like I did say to the president, I hope that you don't have employees that are racist, because if they are, they don't belong in hospitality, and I don't know where they belong. Like I don't know where someone belongs if they think like that and they feel that way about other people that don't look like them and don't sound like them. I don't think you belong on the planet. However, I appreciate the frankness of the discussion, and I hope that that the conversation continues. I'm kind of interested to hear if anybody else has had a situation like this and they've tried to reach out to the company or maybe gone to the media. I just, part of me felt a little bit like I wanted to meet the staff again and just be there when he talks to them, because the president is going in tomorrow on Saturday to speak to the staff at the pie bar and really try to relay what I said to him on the phone. I'm not really sure if he took notes, but I was trying to type it up to send something to him so that he doesn't forget what I said and so that I don't forget what I said. But he just kind of said, we don't tolerate or practice it, as in racism. And I mean, I can say that, anybody can say that, but sometimes you just don't realize that it's there. I did say to him, I noticed that all your servers are white, that all the ones that were on staff that day. And I said, you have some black, people in the kitchen, they're cooks. And I said, your staff does not reflect your customer base or your potential customer base. I said, it's not right to not have equitable hiring, to not have your staff represent the population properly. And I said, if you had had one server, just one, that was a different color or different ethnicity, maybe I would have thought, well, this isn't a racist establishment. But because the dynamic was such that all the servers were white, the customers were white, except for my sister and I and that family that I noticed. My sister noticed one man, I think, that was of East Indian origin, but it was predominantly white. And so I said, do you now understand? Like, I mean, everyone has their perspective, but I wanted him to understand how that comes across. Okay, so, sorry. Anyway, I mean, maybe there's people out there that are going to watch this video and think I got a raw deal, but I'm proud that I stood up and that I got an opportunity to say how I felt. I was nervous, but I wanted to do it. And I hope that the Pie Bar and any of the other restaurants that are owned by Fab Restaurants will change for the better, because I said to the president, I would go to the Pie Bar again after a period of time passed and the staff had some time to improve, because I believe in second chances and I'm a reasonably forgiving person. I don't tend to hold grudges. That's not really in my nature, but I am hurt. I did express to him, more than being angry, I'm just very hurt. And I know that my friends they probably still are kind of angry for me, but I don't want you to be angry anymore. I just want you to stand by me and be supportive of what I've done and try to understand that I don't really want to go after this company for money, or I know that some people would sue, but I'm not, that's not what I want. I wanted an apology, which I did get. Maybe it should have been handwritten probably and signed by the president. That would be a lot more official, but it was posted on YouTube. And then I wanted their staff to be retrained. So that's what the president is doing, and that's what I wanted. So thank you. That's everything. Thank you very much. Bye.